Videos about Karate API framework. Um, this code is available in the Git repository. The repository name is Karate API, so you can clone it from here. The implementation of Karate API used for testing the APIs. So this is the Karate framework, and so this is the POP XML. Here we need to add the Karate dependencies, and you can see here is the dependency. So these dependencies we need to add. Okay, so this is POP XML, and this Karate API has been done through BDD Framework, installing the Cucumber plugin. So let's see how this has been done using the BDD Framework. Let's see the get API feature, how that is done. So here in the future file, I'm adding the future scenario given and when then. So these all comprise one single test case. So the future is get API future, the scenario is get user details, and this is the given URL, the base URL plus public v2 users, and the path is this 6859600. And so the method we are going to use is get. So when we are given this URL and the path and the method is get, then what we are expecting is the status is 200, and after that we are printing the response. The response we are converting into the JSON response, and we're printing the JSON response here, and here we are comparing the actual name with the JSON response name. Similarly ID and email, and printing the actual name, and here we are going to match the actual name with the value which we have got from the JSON response. So we have declared actual name, that will takes the JSON response name, and this particular name has been compared with the actual name what we need to expect. So this is expected and this is the actual. Similarly actual ID and actual email we can check, compare. So this is the get API feature. We can see the get API with query feature, so we are going to pass the query as an additional parameter here. Okay, so this is the query we are defining. The status is inactive and the gender is female and ID is this, and the same base URL, and you are passing the parameters query in addition to this base URL, and the method is get, and the status we are expecting is 200. If the status is 200, then we are going to print the response. So this is how we need to pass the query in the get API feature. Let's go to the post API feature. So this is a post call, and the URL we are going to use is this, and the definition of request payload is this. The payload we have given here. So this is the payload, and the scenario is we are going to create a user with the given data. So this data we are going to pass, and we are going to create a user, and similarly we are using the Cucumber annotations, the given the path, this one. Request is request payload, so we are appending the request to payload with this particular URL, URI. Authorization we are giving, and the method is post. So the status expected is 201. After that we are going to compare the value here. So here we are going to first check $.id. So dollar is the response. In that the ID is present, only one ID is present, and that is whether the ID is present or not. Similarly the name is present or not. Here the name that has to be present as Tom, we are passing as Tom, so that value has to be present. Similarly email, what is coming in the response and what the value we are expecting. So this is the post API implementation. This is posted JSON with a JSON file, how we can pass that. So we are passing a JSON request. So JSON request, you can see it here. So this is the path given here. So from there we are taking the response. Nothing much difference. Just you are passing the request from a file, from a JSON file. Okay, let us see how to update a user. So that means we are getting a response from one API and we are feeding it to the next API. Okay, here. The scenario is we are going to create a user with a post call. So the path, the request payload has been given here, and authorization beer ID has been given here. On post, the status is 201, whether the ID is present or not. Then we are going to fetch the user ID from this post call response. So we're going to declare a variable user ID, and we are going to fetch this ID from the response, and we're printing the user ID. So this will be fetched, this will be sent as the input for the second API call. This is the second API call. We are going to update the user. So update means we are going for put method. So okay, so this is the request payload. The path, the user ID which we have got here, we are sending it in the path. The authorization we are untold, and the method as put. The status we are expecting is 200. So once this is sent, we are going to compare the values where the ID is present, where the ID is matching to the user ID what we have supplied. Where the name is present, or the name is matching to the value what we have sent, and the email what we have sent, that should be present here. Okay, here request payload email means you are generating a random string and appending it to Gmail. So random string, so that is this. That is, we'll be calling this particular function. This particular function is this, and this function that will create a random variable here, and returns the text. So this is how we need to update the user. This is the same random email feature. This is a put API feature, the same functionality what we are seeing now. This is headers feature. So this is going to check whether the headers are present or not. Not from the response. It is going to fetch the headers and compare the values. Given on the header we are passing the values. If we need to pass the values from the header, authentication token, and other things, we can use it like this. The given the path, and then what the value we want to pass in header, we can pass it here, and then we can get the status of the response. Okay, here is the test runner Java. So we have created all the features, but this has to run through the test runner. This is the feature in BDD Cucumber plugin. So here you can define like so what are the tests to run, we can define it here. So I like karate.test and karate get API test. So this feature will run. So we are naming it as this particular method, and here we are going to run this get API that is matching to this particular feature. It is going to run. Similarly, we can call which test we need to run or not. We can define it from here, the test runner file. Okay, this is for the karate framework for API testing that is integrated with the Cucumber plugin as a BDD framework.